What's up, everybody? Paul and Cody back with you. Ditch Panda bass fishing video for a video on Shaky Head, the old shake and waggle.
The old shake and wiggle.
And we're going to give you kind of our take on how we fish this, the different types, and
the gear,
all
setup,
the gear, all the stuff. So
the myths.
The myths and the legends. There's no, other than us. No legends. So, well, let's get into it.
That's a dadgum ditch panda.
All right. Let's start at the very beginning. What is a shaky head? A shaky head is a jig head.
Yep.
This is your old school, just ball head. This is kind of the newer deal, and this is like a real stand-up shaky head. You can see he dropped this thing, it stands up. Old school, kind of just falls over. So, what does that mean for us as fishermen? Well, me and Paul kind of adapted this to like two different setups.
Yeah.
You got your ultra finesse.
You got your spinning.
Yeah, you got your spinning tackle.
Yeah. Spinning tackle.
You know,
it's like a super finesse Texas rig.
Yeah. So
with the weight attached already and all that stuff. So.
Yeah. When we go into these old school ones, we're on spinning tackle. They're 1/8 ounce or less. I know I would say that, but I only throw 1/8 ounce because I don't want a bunch of different weights shaky heads in my box.
Yeah.
1/8 ounce, and you're throwing these on your drop shot rod.
And I'm throwing a drop shot bait on it. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to throw a drop shot size.
Yeah.
Like probably 4 to 6 inches.
One thing you're going to understand is that this shaky head is so much more versatile than you guys think, than a lot of people think that have talked to us. A lot of people think that it's a shaky head. You cast this thing out and you just shake it around.
I mean, about the only place that you're going to not be able to throw this is when you have like soft bottom. You know, where it's getting murky, it's kind of getting nasty, silty, stuff like that. That's when you would go to a drop shot because you have the bait would be off of the ground there. So yeah, I mean, otherwise you can throw this thing in anything.
Yeah,
punch this thing if you want. Believe me, we did it.
Yeah,
we'll show you video right now. I mean, no kidding. You throw it like anywhere you want. Yeah, really.
So awesome. So the idea of a shaky head is that you can cast it out and it keeps your worm vertical, and you know, especially with these lighter ones, it's a real finesse presentation. And you can do so much with this. You can dead stick it, you can shake it like it's like the namesake.
Right. Yeah.
But the best advice we can give anybody with a shaky head is to fish it like a jig.
Yep. And depending on the time of year, you're going to fish a jig different.
Right. Well, depending on the body of water, depending on the day, depending on the pressure system you're going through, you know, that's the best thing about a shaky head is that it's a little smaller presentation than a Texas rig. It stands that worm up. It's a little different presentation than they're used to seeing. It's not as big as a jig. It's not so intimidating, but you can fish this thing just like it.
It gets monster bites.
Yeah,
by the way.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not just.
And you don't even have to have a monster worm on it to have monster bite.
Absolutely not.
But you guys, you can drag this. You can hop it. You can drag and hop it. You can do it real fast. You can do it real slow. You can dead stick it. You can shake it. However you want it to fish it. However the fish want to bite it that day. That's how you should be fishing this thing. But it is so much more than deep rocky point on a tough day. Cast it out and shake it.
Yeah, and I think this thing gets put in that box, right? It gets put in that box where it's like, man, it's going to be super tough conditions. We're gonna have a drop shot on the deck. We're gonna have a shaky head on the deck, maybe a finesse jig.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go
Carolina rig.
We're gonna go to secondary points, and we're gonna fish on rocks, you know. And this is, but dude, I mean, how many fish did we catch in Thule's?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
like the majority.
Literally flipping and pitching this thing into Thule's that are in 8 feet of water.
Right.
That you would never ever think about throwing this into.
Right.
And you know why that catches so many fish? Because no one ever thinks about throwing something like this into that.
Yeah.
That's what you guys need to think about when you're fishing a shaky head. They're so versatile.
Yeah, grass flats. I mean, beds, beautiful bed fit.
People get locked into like, they always say, like, they say how to fish this. Like, that's how you're supposed to fish it. And like,
right.
This is what the book would say.
Mm-hmm.
People have always done that. And the bass now have seen that.
Yeah, think outside the book.
Yeah, think outside they say you should fish something that way.
I mean, again, you can throw this anywhere you throw a jig.
Yeah.
And anywhere you throw like a cover shot, drop shot.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about this is it's even less stuff that's going to hang. Because see, a drop shot, you're hanging up the weight, you're breaking off the weight, you're doing, jig is
even
bigger.
If you're using the cover shot hook, you're still hanging up that weight.
Right, you're still hanging up the weight. And you throw a jig, it's bigger. There's more stuff that can hang up. It's got the weed guard. It's not exactly, it's not.
That thing's gonna get hooked up.
It's not. Yeah.
And it's gonna get gunk all in the skirt. Mm-hmm. I hate that.
So this thing, I'm telling you, it is. We're telling you, this is an underutilized.
Absolutely underutilized. Yeah. Let's get into some gear real quick.
Yes.
Let's talk about the spinning tackle one first. We go to this one not very often, but this is like we want to be doing the stuff with the shaky head, but maybe it's post front, or maybe there was a really bad cold snap that came through.
Mm-hmm.
Post spawn, yeah. Then we might go to something like this, and we're on spinning tackle, and we're on our drop shot rods, medium light, as sensitive as you can afford. That's something we always say.
The nice thing about spinning tackle is generally you're going braid to leader. At least that's what we do, and that's what we recommend.
Absolutely.
Because you're throwing it, you're throwing drop shots on it, finesse jigs on it, you're throwing this on it. So you're going to go with, 15 to 20 pound tests, braid to like an 8 to 12 pound fluoro leader.
I would say even 6 to 12 pound. You can go as light as you want.
Light as you want. The point is you don't have to switch your leader out if you're going from like a drop shot and you got to tie this on.
If you've only got one rod, it's one spinning rod.
The best part about having braid on anything is that you are going to be cheating your way into some feel.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Because braid is so sensitive.
Yep.
So if you can spend the money, get a higher end combo that's more sensitive, that's lighter, especially if you're going to throw it all day long.
Yeah.
You're going to do it on like a 2500 series reel or smaller. And again, and like that, you got to go look at them, because like a 2500 Daiwa is going to be totally different than a 2500 Luz or 2000 Luz or whatever,
Doesn't
right?
matter. Yeah.
You're going to have to, you just got to go check them out.
Yep.
So.
But spinning tackle, medium light, fastest spinning reel you can get. They're making spinning reels a little faster now, because a lot of times if you're not paying attention, this is going to be 40 feet away, swimming away, and you're not going to know it. So if you don't have a high-speed reel, you need to really pay attention when you're throwing this on spinning tackle, because you cannot catch up to those things.
As far as rod length,
7 to 7.4.
7.5 or whatever.
Yeah.
You're going to find 7.4s more than 7.5 on that.
Yeah, you're going to find like real popular is like 7, 7.3. It's a really weird.
If you can go a little bit longer, do it, because you can work the fish better with the rod.
Absolutely.
So
when you guys bump up to this quarter of this stand-up shaky head, the best thing about that is you can go to casting.
Yes.
You can go to a bait caster. You can bump up to a medium fast action rod with a really fast reel. You can do 7 or higher is perfect. You can catch up to them, and most shaky heads have a pretty light wire hook. This is like a 2/0. There are some brands that make them with an extra wide gap, or still with round bend that are a 1/4 ounce and have like a 5/0 hook. Best part about that is you can feel a little more comfortable going braid to leader, or using a little heavier rod, because at that point you're basically fishing a jig. At that point,
you can go straight braid if you want, if you're going into some really rough cover.
Yeah.
I mean,
you have to be pretty careful. But if you got that 5/0 hook, you should be just fine.
Right.
But as far as like these normal shaky head light wire hooks, 2/0, some of them are 1/0. I go straight fluorocarbon. You don't have to do the ESPN hook set. Yeah, you can reel set. So that is a bonus to the light wire hook. You don't have to slam it home. Most of the time, though, even if you do give it a good hook set, you're perfectly okay. With
Yeah.
running straight fluorocarbon, you're going to be perfectly fine.
Yeah, you're going to see a couple of mine in particular. Because I tend to just go, because I forget that I'm not fishing a jig.
Yeah.
And but 12-pound fluoro, good rod, you're fine.
Yeah, you have enough
you're gonna
play.
Be fine.
Yeah, it's okay.
Right, especially if like mine's moderate fast, so you're gonna get a little more bend in the rod.
Yeah, with your casting rods, you can go from medium fast up to a medium heavy moderate, like what he uses. The cool thing about the medium heavy moderate is you can then go to one of the really heavy ones if you really wanted to, 1/2 ounce with a 5/0 hook.
Sure.
And you don't have to worry about it. You wouldn't be able to do that as comfortably on a medium fast.
The cool thing is this does not require specialized gear.
No.
So it's your junk rod, the one that you throw.
I throw mine on my jerkbait rod.
Yeah, I mean there you go. So yeah. No one does that. What are we doing? It's amazing.
Yeah,
we
it's
just
awesome.
do what we want to do.
Yeah.
And it works. Yeah. I don't know. This is hilarious. But yeah, you don't have to buy another combo if you don't want to. If you're us, you buy 3 because we got to try stuff out apparently. But no, it's not one of those techniques that you need specialized. This is the only thing I do for this rod. It's not like that. So
it can be if you want it to be.
Sure. I mean, you do whatever you want to do. If you want to get into the $1,000 combos,
down in the comments right now, if you have a specific rod that's only for shaky heads, please, for the love of God, tell me. That is amazing.
Yeah. No, you guys are going to be our new friends. Yeah. Because that's something we would do.
Awesome.
Something we do.
Yeah.
Actually. So we're going to go into baits.
Let's get to baits.
Yeah. We got we fished about 4, right?
Wow.
4 different baits.
Yeah.
So,
honestly, I just pulled random ones. You guys can fish any straight tail worm
seriously,
on this.
whatever straight tail you want.
Basically, I mean, you
Some
can
are better than
throw
others.
curly tail worms on it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Zoom trick worm. You know, I love this. This is original trick worm. This is California 420.
Right.
This is Guggen Baits' Slim Shake, specially designed for a shaky head. I'm gonna get into that at a later video. We were throwing them with the Rage Tail Cutter Worm. Worked just fine. We threw the 6 Sense Devine.
I love that one. Got a bunch of them. I dig it. I like the bulbous tail.
Yeah.
That's what I like. That thing floats. It is specifically, again, designed for shaky heads, so it's going to float. So there are specific ones that you can use that are going to help this ball head
stand up,
right? I also used a Missile Baits quiver tail, which is absolutely not designed for shaky heads, but it did anyway.
It works.
Because it works. It's just something different.
With the stand-up ones, you can definitely get away with bigger worms and a more variety. With the smaller one, you guys really probably going to want to stick to like your Zoom trick worms, that Guggen Baits Slim Shake, something that's designed as a shaky head worm because it'll float. Right. And it'll probably be bulbous in the tail with like an air pocket or something that really makes that tail float.
You're getting definitely different action on that
basically
stuff.
the only thing that you can't really throw worm-wise on a shaky head is a Senko. Because the Senko just wants to fall over regardless.
Right.
It'll tip this thing over. You are not throwing it on that, on the little ball head.
Right. I mean, honestly, you guys, if you find yourself in a situation where you're on your boat or you're on the bank and you're fishing and you were fishing your drop shot and you forgot your other worms, throw a drop shot worm on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's fine. It literally.
I have one right here. Okay, I'm just gonna pull a random one.
There you go.
This is a Zoom Swamp Crawler Bold Bluegill. This will absolutely work in a shaky head.
100%.
Yep. No problem.
Something different that isn't being shown to these bass. So
one last thing to touch on before we say goodbye to you guys. When you guys go to purchase your shaky heads, if you're going to pick up both of them, we highly recommend the owner for the ball head.
Right.
Because of their twist lock system.
Yeah, that CPS centering pin twist lock is awesome.
Yeah. These are, in our opinion, these and the Buckeye spot remover are the best old school shaky heads. As far as the stand up, like real draggers that we like so much, pay attention to your twist locks. They don't make these anymore. I don't even remember what brand these are. I love them, but there is some altering you have to do to make these things functional, which shouldn't be in any type of bait or lure. You shouldn't have to alter it so that it works. But if you guys are buying some and you're looking ones to buy, pay attention to this twist lock. This twist lock is really thick gauge wire and it's way too long. So you really want a light gauge wire, and you really only need 2. So what I do is I take the wire cutters and I just cut the last one off, because this gap, I can barely get my finger in this. You notice the owner, ow.
Really hard to hold.
Okay.
Really slippery.
You notice the owner is much bigger. And that twist lock, you guys have seen the owner twist lock pins. Thin gauge wire, centering pin, it's awesome. So that's something to look for when you're going to buy shaky heads. Megastrike makes a really good, real good stand-up one. The Missile Warlock is a good one.
Awesome.
And
I have the Sixth Sense.
The Sixth Sense Devine ones.
They work pretty well too, but they look like old school, but they're very flat on the bottom, and they do stand up. So
yeah. So just keep that in mind when you guys go to buy the actual Shaky Head portion of this. And your baits, I guarantee you probably already have baits you can use.
Yep.
If you wanted to go like actual Shaky Head baits, the Guggen one's okay. It's got some technical problems, but it catches fish. It seems like they haven't seen a lot of those. The fish, when they hit that one in particular, it seemed like they had not seen it.
Yeah, they hit it like they wanted it.
Zoom makes an actual Shaky Head worm, and they make a Magnum Shaky Head worm. Those are awesome.
Sixth Sense Devine.
The Sixth Sense Devine, the Quiver Tail, anything. Try everything.
Yeah, or try exactly what you already have in your bag.
Yeah, exactly. So we hope that clears some stuff up, guys. I know that most people think you cast this thing out on deep rocky points and you shake it and that's all you do and you reel it back up.
Well, we're showing you video that says otherwise.
Yeah. It also makes this bait much funner to fish.
It is. A lot more fun to fish.
Than just doing.
Absolutely.
Guess there's not a fish there.
Yeah.
Guess there's not a fish there.
Right.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, click that like button, leave a comment down below, hit the bing bell so we can be annoying and, you know, ring in your pocket every time we put up a video.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Looking for a healthy snack, bag of bull beef jerky, best beef jerky in the universe, all 6 flavors, out of this world. DP10, 10% off at checkout. Orders over $50.
Free.
Free shipping.
It just doesn't get any better than that.
It doesn't. You're right.
All right.
So get you some. Until next time.